Good afternoon. The Ministry of the Interior announced the activation of a pre-emergency phase in view of the multiple forest fires affecting different parts of the country. The measure seeks to coordinate and reinforce the deployment of state resources in support of the most affected regions. The General Director of Civil Protection and Emergencies called an urgent meeting of the State Coordination and Management Committee to assess the emergency, with the participation of the heads of the Ministry of Ecological Transition, the State Meteorological Agency AMET, and the Ministry of Defence, amongst other bodies. A firefighting volunteer died from severe burns while several people were hospitalised as dozens of wildfires fuelled by strong winds and heat continue to rage across the country today. At least 6 large wildfires were still out of control, according to regional emergency services. The victim, a 35-year-old volunteer, had been attempting to create fire breaks in the Castilla y León region when he became trapped in the blaze. The fire had 2 active fronts that were still out of control, as weather services forecast another day of strong winds and electric storms. Over 5,000 people have been evacuated in the region, and efforts are being concentrated on preventing the flames from reaching smaller towns. Galicia's regional leader said the situation there was complicated and that the weather isn't helping, as 6 active fires affected a combined 10,000 hectares of Orense province. The weather agency AMET forecast extreme risk of wildfires across the country today. Search and rescue teams have found the body of an American hiker who went missing in the Pyrenees last month. The body of 27-year-old Cole Henderson was located on the north face of Monte Perdido, the 3rd highest peak in the Pyrenees, so the Guardia Civil confirmed in a statement yesterday. Authorities said the place where Henderson was found was a difficult-to-access area, with specialist teams needing to use a crane to airlift his body. He was reported missing, and a search began on July the 14th after he failed to take his flight home to the Netherlands 2 days earlier. Spain's European Union harmonised 12-month inflation rate rose to 2.7% in July, up from 2.3% in the period through June, so final data from the National Statistics Institute showed this morning. The INE's final data was in line with its forecast 2 weeks ago. Core inflation, which strips out volatile fresh food and energy prices, rose to 2.3% in the 12-month through July, up from 2.2% in the period through June. That's the latest from TRE. I'm Bob James.